At every stage of his life, Brad Hornung faced challenges and achieved goals with great character, a tremendous attitude, and unrelenting determination. Hornung was born in Regina and dreamed of following in his father's footsteps to the National Hockey League. He excelled at a young age, helping Regina reach the final of the 1985 Midget National Championship as one of the tournament's leading scorers. A year later, he was selected to be the captain of Team West at the SO Cup International Hockey Tournament. He scored more than a point per game with the Regina Pats in the Western Hockey League heading into the 1987 NHL Draft.
But he was going to get drafted. He was going to play in the NHL. His dad played in the NHL and in the WHA. He had the pedigree. He had the mindset. He was a classy guy. He was loved by his teammates.
Hornung's life changed on March 1st, 1987, when he was checked from behind into the boards while playing with the Pats. He suffered a severe spinal cord injury that left him a quadriplegic. Doctors were initially pessimistic that he would ever get out of his bed to lead a normal life. Hornung had other ideas. Demonstrating the same tenacity and character that served him so well on the ice, Hornung began creating the incredible story of his life, which would serve as an inspiration to so many.
Who every time I visited displayed so much resiliency. It wasn't looking back at what happened. It was looking forward at what he could accomplish. And what he accomplished is legendary. It's iconic. There should be a movie about it.
The WHL named their Most Sportsmanlike Player Award in his honor in 1988, and Hornung was there the first time it was presented. The WHL also adopted a new checking from behind penalty that remains on the books as player safety and the dangers of hits from behind became a national conversation after Hornung's injury. Hornung faced his challenges head-on, first by gaining mobility through the use of an electronic wheelchair, and then by pursuing a degree at the University of Regina. Support for people with disabilities were minimal in the post-secondary system at the time, but Hornung wasn't afraid to try emerging technologies. He used a new, experimental voice recognition technology that helped him take notes, finish assignments, and complete exams. He graduated from the U of R with a BA in history in 1996. The university also awarded him an honorary Doctor of Laws degree in 2018 for his courage and perseverance.
There's no one I know who has overcome greater adversity in life with such courage, grace, and optimism.
I think Brad's legacy goes beyond sports. He called himself a guinea pig because of the things that he was willing to attempt and try with regard to advanced learning, using technology and things to someone who had, the injury and the disability to the extent that he had.
His passion for hockey didn't diminish after his injury. He followed in his father's footsteps in a different capacity, reaching the NHL as a professional scout. He used voice recognition software to file his reports from his room at the Wascana Rehabilitation Center, allowing him to pass along what he was seeing from prospects playing in the WHL. He attended the NHL draft in person in 2002 and 2003 as a scout for the Chicago Blackhawks. He worked for the Blackhawks for 4 seasons before scouting for the NHL's Central Scouting Service. The Blackhawks won their first Stanley Cup in 49 years in 2010 with 7 players from Western Canada on their team that played in the WHL while Hornung was a scout.
The things he accomplished in the game of hockey are outstanding also. You know, he was recognized as a person who had an eye for players in the game, became a very successful scout for the NHL Central Scouting and for the Chicago Blackhawks. There was a lot of players that owe their opportunity in the game to his input in the scouting reports and such. He saw a lot of hockey players in Western Canada.
Hornung passed away from cancer in 2022 at the age of 52. Shortly after his death, the Brad Hornung Accommodations Test Center was unveiled at the U of R as a legacy of his ambition to make the campus more accessible.
I was just marveled at him. And to me, what he accomplished is, in my mind, we know how incredible the the Terry Foxes and the Rick Hansons are. But in Regina, he's Regina's Terry Fox and Rick Hansen for what he accomplished. For what he did in school, what he did with himself after is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
People who knew Brad Hornung all highlight his incredible attitude and determination, whether it was on the ice, in the classroom, or in chasing his dreams. When asked how he managed to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, Hornung remained humble, insisted that people don't realize how much resiliency people have within themselves until they are challenged.
If there is a moral to my story, it is that people tend to underestimate themselves and how well they would react to different circumstances. You may be one of those people who underestimate yourself, but you need to believe in yourself, knowing in your heart that you will find a way to cope with whatever life throws at you. I don't fully understand how we find that strength in difficult times, but we nearly always do.
Installed in the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame on September 20th, 2025, Brad Hornung.